8 times 8 times 8 is 4. We're going to do a nice musical pop cultural example here for a number theory problem. Because it says in the finale, before the music drowns out, from As, a song in Songs in the Keys of Life by Stevie Wonder, they mentioned that particular lyric or equation that 8 times 8 times 8 equals 4. And we're going to show what integers n. This statement is true modulo n. Remember, it's a congruence, not an identity or an equation. So, best thing to do is to just go and prime factorize the thing. 8 can be expressed as 2 to the 3 powers, and there's 3 copies of them. So you can just add the 3 times over here, and 4 is 2 squared if you prime factorize it. That gives us 2 to the 9th minus 2 squared. You could do difference of 2 squares on that. You could also just put it in your calculator and compute that. That's going to give you 512 minus 4 equals 0 mod n. Remember, this is just a division algorithm. It says that, like, what this says is that, if I were to express this as here, 2 to the 9 equals 2 squared mod n. This congruence states that the number 2 to the 9 and 2 squared generate the same remainder. And in fact, if I go and subtract them, they will both be divisible by each other because they have a remainder of 0. It divides it evenly into that. So you get that 508 is congruent to 0 mod n. From there, all you just need to do is consider all possible integers that divide into 508. So you can prime factorize 508 into this way. It's going to be a lot of annoying calculator work. 2 squared times 127. And then find the individual factors from it. But here's a caveat where things are a bit tricky. Remember, we are dealing with z. There's like, the integers start at 0, and then there's symmetry to 0, where you have positive numbers on the right and negative numbers to the left. You can also be a negative number as well. So the factors of 508 are 1, 2, 4, 127, 254, and 508. You are allowed to check that this equation is true for, say, for example, 8 times 8 times 8 is congruent to 4 mod negative 1. Because all you can simply do is find any sort of like integer where you multiply. You have the freedom to pick any integer. 8 times 8 times 8 equals 4 plus negative 1 times any integer I you want, where I is any integer. And if you get that equation, that congruence to be true, the answer still holds. And indeed that is the case, but I'm not going to show it for the brevity of time. So that is it. In a universe where you're dealing with these particular factors, particularly if you know a bit more group theory, in Z1, in Z plus or minus 1, Z2, it's taking too long for me to put the plus or minus, Z2, Z4, Z 127, Z 254, and Z 508, these particular factors and divisors will make this seemingly unintuitive identity, this seemingly contradictory identity, or congruence, I should say, true.